Welcome to Rebuild, Revive and Thrive, where we're going to dance your way through back and hip discomfort. I'm Lisa McLean and I'm the founder of rebuildprogram.com.au. We're going to talk all things pain and inflammation. Better yet, we're going to decrease the frustration, we're going to increase the confidence, and we're going to just make getting older fun and enjoyable. So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, and stay tuned weekly to kick the pain to the curb. Welcome back to another episode where we're going to talk about functional training and how you can master your movement by understanding the power of functional training. The word has been flown around for a long time, and you've probably heard people say, hey, my name's Lisa and I'm a functional trainer. Or people probably say, I only do functional training. But the thing is, what is it? And you don't have to go to a trainer. You don't have to be a specialist. You don't have to do so much research to incorporate functional exercises and get the benefit of it. All you need to know is what it is, how it's going to benefit you, and where do you start? So the core, let me explain this to you basically. And in simple terms, I think we all get wrapped up in the word training or exercises that it's only for the fit people to do. Well, that's a crock. Anybody can do this and anybody can benefit from it. And I recommend everybody incorporating it into their days. What is the core principle of this form of exercise is to train the body in a way that supports and enhances the ability to perform everyday activities and maintain high quality of life. So you're like, yeah, right. That's what we want, Lise. Okay. That means that we're going to be able to do everyday activities, real activities more efficiently and safely and prevent those injuries. Do you know, like picking up groceries? If you're anything like me, you pick up 50 bags of groceries because you don't want to do a couple of trips to the car and back. You're just going to bend down and pick up as much as you can and walk inside. Do you know, climbing stairs or even climbing downstairs, walking downstairs, playing with the kids or the grandkids, having less fear to do these things because you have more confidence and control in your body because you've adapted these exercises into your day, or even reaching up for something high or putting your dishes in the dishwasher. I'm not sure about you, but my teenage kids actually have trouble putting dishes in the dishwasher, not because they're untrained, but they're lazy. Okay. But how many times have I heard people say, I put dishes in the dishwasher and felt my back go? Well, that's because our body is actually not adapted to or, conditioned to the everyday activities. You don't just wake up conditioned to everyday activities. We actually need to work at it. And the older we get, the more we've got to work at it. It's not a bad thing. It's just that you need to know what to do. So this form of training or exercises or whatever you want to call it, and like I said, I don't like to use training because people feel like it's just for the fit people. For everybody, it actually strengthens your muscles. It's improving your balance. It enhances coordination, which, hey, you know what? We can all use as we get older. And this all knuckles down to becoming injury-free in everyday activities. So it just because Debbie next door is doing functional training and she's looking amazing doesn't mean that you're going to go ahead and do exactly the same as what Debbie does. It's adapting to you and what you need to prevent these injuries and become functional, right? So it's mimicking everyday tasks. So, like squatting. Squatting is not just for people who are strong, or squatting, you don't just go, oh no, I can't squat. That's not for me. Well, actually, if you get up and down off the couch or off the dining room table or out of bed, you're actually doing squats. You're going from sitting to standing. So we need to work on that in a way that suits you. So we're going to actually use multiple muscles. We're going to use multiple joints, and we're going to make our body work as one unit. And if you've listened to any of my podcasts or watched any of my podcasts, you know that, hey, that's what I bang on about. Don't fix the side of pain. Don't fix one muscle group. In different forms of training, like I'm going to probably get corrected here, but in different forms of training, yeah, we do need to isolate muscles and we need to do specific muscles. But for everyday tasks and to become injury-free, we need to work our body as one unit. So this is what I mean by becoming injury-free. Don't roll your eyes and go, Lisa, we can't become injury free. Things happen. Yeah, get that. And if you're anything like me and you're running down the stairs because you're doing 100 things at once and you're in a rush and you miss the bottom step and your ankle has a little, you not twist, but you actually roll on your ankle a little bit. Well, my ankles are conditioned for that because I work on my body as a whole unit. So I can recover from that and not be injured. But anybody who has not worked on it might roll their ankle, sprain their ankle, and be on crutches. So we got these everyday tasks we want to condition our body for. And this is probably, I speak to a lot of people about pain and how they've done it and how to fix it. But everyday tasks are way up the list of common injuries. So we want to actually take a practical approach to exercising. We want to take a practical approach to training. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're a bodybuilder, whether you're a young person just starting out in sport, whether you're an elderly person, it really doesn't matter. This form of training, it actually doesn't matter. This form of training will actually benefit you. And if you're not doing it, you should incorporate it. Like I said, not just what Debbie next door is doing, but we've got to gear it to you. Like I said previously, we don't, in this form of training or exercising, we don't want to isolate specific muscles because we want to work on connecting our body together. So I say work on our body as a unit, but you probably relate more to, hey, you want to feel more connected and more stable when you move and when you walk or up and down stairs or whatever the activities that we're doing. So we focus on compound movements. So these movements make sure that we're using, head, shoulders, knees, and toes through complete range and plane of motion. So you don't really need to know that, but I want you to know that we're moving our whole body and it mimics the way that our body naturally moves. So when was the last time that you did an exercise or you're at the gym and you thought, hey, I'm just going to mimic the way that I get out of bed? Well, we don't. But hey, listen, we get out of bed, well, at least once a day, don't we? So why not make sure that we do everything? And as we get older, this getting out of bed can actually, be painful. You can put strain on your back. So we want to make sure that these everyday tasks are easy. So like I said, so take it back to what I said with a squat. So we're getting from sitting to standing position. We're in a squat. We're using, our hips. We're using our knees. We're using our ankle joints. We're, even using our legs and our core, connecting our legs and our core together. So we're using everything that we use when we get off the couch. But how many times I hear people say that they can't do a squat? Well, hey, you know what? You know how many variations of squats there are to suit absolutely everybody? There's an alternative for everybody. And if you're one of my clients, I make sure that I combine 2 or 3 exercises in one to make sure that we are getting the results that we need. So this is what I mean, that it actually can be adapted to any fitness level. So whether you're a professional athlete or you're a bodybuilder, you're just starting out in fitness, or, you're a stay-at-home mum or dad, you're recovering from injury. There's so many, scenarios. It doesn't matter. It will help you and it will benefit you. And if you're not, then I say start doing. Whether you're not doing any exercises at all, but you're in pain, these are the type of exercises that you would want to start. Now, listen, I have done many podcasts and I've, spoken about the fascia, releasing fascia. Well, hey, you know what? Wouldn't be a bad idea to incorporate them as well, but that would probably require, you speaking to either myself or, somebody else who can actually give you the correct exercises in the correct order. And again, go to my website, rebuildprogram.com.au, go apply now or have a look at the resources. I speak to people all the time if you don't know where to start. So what we're doing is we're actually strengthening the smaller stabilizing muscles around your joints, which when you're doing larger muscle groups, isolating larger muscle groups, we're not targeting the smaller stabilizing muscles, which then normally end up in injuries. And especially the injuries where we have a fall and we strain ourselves, or those awkward movements, because these injuries occur when we've got muscle imbalances or weaknesses in those stabilizing muscles around the joint. Like I said, there's so many injuries. Well, probably 90% of injuries occur because those stabilizing muscles can't switch on correctly, or they're not conditioned to catch you when you have a fall. Like I say, take it back to the example I said about just having a little trip down the bottom step, or, tripping, just slightly catching your feet and you have a little slight trip. And, that is enough to put some people's back and hips out. But if you have a conditioned body and you start doing these particular exercises for you, remember, not for Debbie next door, but for you, then these particular tasks become more safe and efficient. So if you were an athlete, these particular ones would be able to improve performance in your particular sport. So you've got to focus on the type of movements, that your muscles need to perform when you're actually in your sport. So like I mentioned, like a basketball player would have to do more plyometric for jumps, like jump squats and, explosive power for jumping to make that jumping in basketball strong, efficient, so that when you're landing, you're not going to overcompensate and hurt yourself. Conditioning your body for these movements that you need to do more efficiently if you're an athlete or anybody. If you're a soccer player, you're going to be working on the lateral movements and the agility to be able to switch from side to side, which if you're not conditioned to do it and you go from side to side quickly, you can actually injure yourself 100%. So in an athlete, you're going to mimic these movements that you need to do or you're repeatedly doing on the field or on the court. This also then brings more awareness to your body, or proprioception, which actually means that you're more in tune of knowing your body's movement and positioning. So if you're that basketballer jumping up and you're landing, you're in tune of how to land. It's not just land clomp, or hope to God I'm not going to fall down on my bum. It's no, I know that I need to put my feet here, my heels there. I know that my quads are going to do this and my core's going to do that. And it sounds like a lot when you're jumping, but if you're conditioned to do it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to be more efficient and safe, but it's actually going to give you correct technique in your sport and you're going to excel in your sport. So that's what I mean, like for athletes or for everyday people, like I said, like groceries and walking up and down stairs, or even if you're an office worker and you get a sore back from sitting, there are exercises you need to do to actually help that the spine being more stable and strong and all the muscles supporting around the spine. So let's take it back to having a strong core. Now, I hate it. It is a pet hate of mine when people say, just strengthen your core and it'll fix your back. No, stop, don't. Understand, because if you just go, okay, well, I'm just going to go do some planks and some sit-ups, well, you're going to hurt yourself more. Understand what the core does. The core wraps around and protects the back. The core but needs to connect to other muscles for you to move more efficiently. So building a strong core will, improve nearly all movements. It's going to provide stability. It's going to help with your balance. And it's going to strengthen those deep ab muscles, which are the protector of the back, not the pretty six-pack. I don't give two hoots about the pretty six-pack. That is not functional. Looks pretty, yet cool. That's made in the kitchen, but you want those deep stabilizing muscles to protect your back and improve movement through your hips. We need the obliques to be actually connected so that we can do rotation or get out of bed, put the groceries away and do that rotation, so that we're not going to put our back out doing that. And obviously, muscles, the 17 muscles that we've got that attaches to our pelvis. We focus in this form of training on the rotational movements. And a lot of people are scared of rotational movements, but rotational movements are life. If you can't rotate your body, then how do you get out of bed without hurting yourself? How do you put the groceries away? These are just everyday activities that I'm pulling out here. But rotation will actually strengthen the core and allow those deep stabilizing muscles and obliques to work together so that they protect your spine. And we actually now have better posture, and we reduce the back injuries. That's exactly what we're after. Now let's bring it back to a little bit of a balance and coordination. Everybody loves balance exercises, don't they? Probably not. That's not what I hear. But, when we're walking, we are in a single leg stance often throughout our walking phase. So we need to improve balance and coordination. So this type of training, I'm not going to say that I'm going to go have you hopping on one foot up and down the stairs. That's ridiculous. But improving balance and coordination, especially as we get older, might mean that you're going to do any form of exercise while standing still on one leg. Or, then if that becomes holding on is not cheating, you're actually improving your alignment if you're holding on and doing the exercise properly. If that's too easy, add in an unstable surface like a Bosu ball, or, performing, doing a single leg stance. Take away the Bosu ball for now, but then performing something with your upper body as well. That's connecting your upper body and lower body and encouraging the core to activate. These are everyday movements. A single leg deadlift is not just for fit people or strong people. There are definitely different variations. People that come into my program will do a single leg deadlift at some stage because it's part of walking. It's part of bending. It's part of moving. It's part of getting out of bed, because a single leg deadlift will strengthen the legs and the core, but also challenge your balance. And while you're doing this exercise, what I tell all my clients, focus on your alignment, what your knees doing, what your feet doing, what your hips doing, what your shoulders doing. We're correcting alignment. We're correcting your whole biomechanics by doing a single leg deadlift. What variation you do is totally up to either myself or whoever is helping you, or checking yourself out in the mirror. Walking lunges. We walk all the time. Now, when I say walking lunges, does it mean that your knee has to touch the floor? No, it doesn't. It just means that we're mimicking walking in a slower motion and an exaggerated movement. These sort of things are definitely going to help with balance. They can definitely help improve your coordination, help with body control, proprioception, like I said, the way that your body moves in the space that it moves in. While we are working on, and look, I'm giving you lots of factors, but all these factors can be rolled into one exercise. Trust me, I do this for a living. I give corrective exercises out in the correct order to help people get out of pain all the time. But we must focus on mobility. Yes, flexibility, but throw in that mobility as well. So not throw in flexibility, but yes, definitely mobility. So flexibility refers to the ability of a muscle to lengthen, while mobility is the ability, say that 10 times, of a joint to move freely through a full range of motion. So you can see why that mobility way outweighs flexibility. Flexibility is important. If you're very restrictive, we need to be releasing these muscles, but mobility which is the ability to move freely through a joint in its full range of motion, is definitely where we need to be to prevent injuries. Injury-free comes in the stability. So functional training incorporates all of the above. Enhancing flexibility would be more such as dynamic movements. I'm going to say stretching, but I don't believe in stretching, but dynamic movements. Dynamic movements is any form of, you're not stationary. Let's just say that you are moving, and that's a dynamic movement. And just really focusing on that movement that you're doing in complete range of motion is the end goal, without pulling a muscle. And that's opposed to stretching. Stretching is where we isolate. We don't want that. So mobility exercises we are releasing restrictions. We are focusing on improving the joint movement and focusing on the joint movement while releasing the restrictions around the joint. So mobility exercises, I am all for mobility. I'm not going to say to you, stop your flexibility if it's working for you, but unless I know your situation and where you're at, I am all for mobility because it's function, right? So incorporating any functional exercises that mimic your daily activities to help you become injury-free and stabilizing those smaller muscles is obviously going to help your pain and your health and your movement, your confidence. What we need to do is we need to start realistically. Take Debbie next door out, because she's absolutely rocking life at the moment. She's looking great. She's moving confidently, and she hasn't had an injury or pain for a long time. She is on point. Now you need to start. You need to set realistic goals. You don't want to be like Deb. You want to be like you and create a balanced session or exercise schedule, or what is it that in your life or in your day that you can give to yourself? And again, like I've said many times before, if you can't give yourself 10 minutes a day, you need to really assess that. Maybe go to my website, rebuildprogram.com.au, apply now. We need to have a chat. Find that time, because you do have it. It's just that you got to find it. You got to prioritize. And how are we going to now pop functional training into your days? Well, that's super easy. Are you able to park a little bit further away from the shops and get those little extra steps in? Focus on your posture, focus on your alignment, focus on your foot. They're very important factors as well, as long as you know what you're focusing on. When you are in the office and you need to go to the toilet, or, stand up 5 times, sit down, stand up 5 times to have a drink of water or something, you can incorporate these things into your day. We want to make sure that, we are doing more than just sitting there. We need to increase your movement. We need to have at least, if we can have 10 minutes every second day to do the corrective exercises to make that movement more efficient, that's where we're going. That's where we're heading. And knowing that Debbie next door took a long time to get smashing it, absolutely amazing. She took a while to get there, but she did the work. She stayed consistent and she did what was right for her. So don't compare yourself to other people, and don't just start up a training or exercise regime that suits somebody else. You must get it for you, so that you know that you're now setting yourself up to become injury free. So it's more just doing sets of exercises. It's more just it's more than just turning up to the gym and just doing particular exercises. It's having that functional training for you in the correct order. All right. And that's so that we can actually have more energy. We're doing the right thing for you, and more energy and quality of life. All right. So before I actually start rambling, let's just go through some of the points that I actually said to simplify it for you. So basically, functional training, it really does emphasize multi-joint compound exercises, which is, moving through ranges of motion and more than one muscle. So really mimicking getting up and standing and walking and, those daily activities. It's going to move your body naturally. So we're not going to push our body through any particular movement that is restrictive. So it's going to move our body naturally in daily movements. So whether you're whether you're lifting a heavy box, or whether you're playing sports, or whether you're climbing stairs, we still need to have stability. We still need to have strength, but we need our body to work as one. We want to train our bodies or do exercises in the way that these muscle groups and these joints work as one. So let's just put it into, again, let me give you another example, like stepping up and doing an overhead press. It means that we're stepping up to put groceries away on a top shelf. If you're short, you might have a step in the cupboard. But, putting stuff away while stabilizing through your feet. They're exercises that you need to condition your body for. It doesn't just happen. It just doesn't happen, especially as you get older. I'm sure you're nodding your head going, yeah, okay, I get it, Lisa, I get it. We want to ensure that your body is well prepared for balance, because that's something that everybody forgets. I speak to people who are in the gym consistently, or they're runners even, like runners need to do balance exercises. This is going to reduce the injuries. This is going to help stabilize your body. This is going to help you move more efficiently. Balance, single-legged exercises are so important. You can do balance without single leg. I'm telling you now, I've got thousands of exercises in different variations. For athletes, it means that it's an improved performance, more efficient, more powerful. Your body's more equipped to handle the quick changes that you need to do so that we don't injure yourself. For bodybuilders, you don't just work the big muscles because you're going to injure yourself, because those stabilizing muscles that are so important aren't getting used. Athletes, like I said, you're well equipped, sitting at a desk all day. There's so many exercises that everybody should be doing for themselves to condition their body. That's what functional training is. So it's not a matter of, hey, you're going to come see, hey, my name's Lisa, I'm a functional trainer. You need to see me to improve. No, that's a crock. You can be improving yourself. And if you're not sure of how to, like I said, go to my website, plenty of resources, or book a call. Do you know, there are options. But that's a wrap on yet another episode. If you've loved the info in this episode, then make sure you like, follow, or subscribe, whichever platform you're on. And like I always say, go ahead and share this episode on your socials, whether it's Instagram or whether it's Facebook. Check out my online programs. If you want a guided step-by-step results-driven program, I've got 3 different programs, online programs, anywhere in the world you can be. Check out rebuildprogram.com.au. These programs are all based on correcting your biomechanics. And biomechanics is a step-by-step order, right? You can't just do step 1 and step 10 and expect to have been improved. It's a step-by-step order in connecting you back together. It's a connection process. So whether you're in chronic pain or you have a nagging injury or you just want to improve your own daily performance, be more efficient, and to be a better you, then make sure you keep up to date with these podcasts, because you are the people that I'm out there trying to help. If you like, follow, or subscribe, you're going to actually get notified of the new episodes, so you don't miss a beat. But please, guys, make it your mission to be more aware and to be a better you.